Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you know what I realized is that I sing the same good morning songs to the kids that my mom used to sing to me.
Oh,
I know. I go in every morning to Evelyn at least and I sing good morning to you, good morning to you, good morning dear Evelyn, good morning to you. And I was just like, where did I even get that from? And I'm like, oh, from my mom.
I did not have the same experience.
Your mom didn't come in singing sweetly to you in the morning?
No, time to get up. Get up. Let's go.
Well, that explains your vibe in the morning. Although you've changed things. You put on some music today.
I don't know. Like everything's fuzzy at this point. But I think I was so hyper that I got up by myself. Until like teenage years, obviously, but that's different. But I was like up.
You probably didn't want that. Like did you know what she was going to do if you didn't get up? So you were like probably jumping out of bed.
Maybe. No, I never had like fear. My brother and sister probably had a different experience, but by the time I was around, they were so tired that they stopped fighting. Or I don't want to say they didn't care.
Or like care.
But they eased all the rules. And plus, like, I was the amazing third child that would like make my mom coffee every morning. Like I took over making coffee for her somehow because I really wanted to at like, I don't know, the age of 5. Weird.
Yeah, that explains your coffee making skills because you make coffee for me today. And it's like, you don't even drink coffee anymore and you're still quite good at making coffee.
No, I can't drink coffee anymore. It's very sad.
I don't know. Well,
I miss it.
As we get older, I was thinking about how we have to take care of ourselves so much that most of what we, like when we were talking on the last podcast about the procedures and things, but like how we don't.
My back really hurts, okay?
Well, and how we were talking about like working out and like how I'm deciding not to work out today because I know that I have to run around the like family fun night tonight and I'm going to like save my energy for that because there's like only so much because I know if I work out then I'm going to be tired later, These are the things.
Well, I might actually power wash that shed because all the moss, it's driving me nuts. I can't wait to just power wash off that moss and then fix whatever shingles I need to fix. So it's just going to look like a totally different. I might even just not even take the shingles off. I might just like put more shingles on top.
I support that because this shed.
Just the shed.
Let's describe the shed. The shed in the backyard is.
It's pretty big. It's like 10 by 12.
Yeah. And it's like a little, like somebody made it and it's like a little house kind of vibe, like a little barn.
Little mini barn.
Yeah, a little mini barn. And it's got shingles but it's like rotting from the ground up. So you're replacing all the sides and the frame and making it look really nice. But again, like we keep talking about like it's just a shed. Like it does not have to be like this perfect little home or anything. And so put the shingles on top, Janie. Just go for it. Shingle it up.
What I'm sad about is I'm gonna have to go to the landfill because, or like we could hire somebody to do it, but it's like literally $3 to just drop it off yourself. But I'm just like, I'm dreading. It's like so depressing going to the landfill. The dump.
You don't want to call it the dump.
No.
You're trying to call it the landfill. It's like the nice, like it's not the pound, it's the shelter.
It's so sad. It's like literally Wall-E time. God, it seems to be.
It really is though. But like, I think that I've never really been to a dump or I don't remember going to the landfill as a child. Like, I think my dad took me there a couple of times when he was dropping stuff off.
With my dad.
So I vaguely remember like piles of garbage, right? So but then when we went as grown-ups now in our own house, because you didn't go to the landfill in Portland, Oregon. I couldn't even tell you where it is. I don't know if is there one?
We did. We went, maybe it was a recycling, but we had to go for something.
Recycling and composting. Yes. Dump landfill. I don't think so.
I know. Where did the garbage go?
Well, I don't want to tell you where the garbage really goes because I've been reading some environmental studies lately and it's just so bad.
Just say it.
Well, I think it was
Carrie's notes.
I think it was the New York Times had a story that said that they followed a woman air tagged her trash. Like this is a researcher. So she put an air tag in her recycling.
Wow. Oh, God.
To like see where it
also
would go.
Wasteful in itself.
Right. I'm like, that's expensive, but okay. And so then it went like through the truck and she watched it like move and it just stopped at this one like recycling center and it just stayed there for months. And so finally she went there and
was it recycling or was it
she
garbage?
Put it in recycling.
Oh, okay.
And so, but this is the problem is that there's no recycling. There's no such thing as recycling because all the plastics just stayed at this site. She finally went to the site to like ask them like what was going on because it was like a long time. And they were like, we're waiting for this huge recycling plant to be built where all this plastic is eventually going to go. But like between now and then, it could be years and it's just sitting there. And she's like, it's very dangerous. Like if something like lights on fire or whatever, like it could be a real problem. So I just like, anytime I look into recycling, it's always bad news. So there's your bad news for the day.
Cool. Happy Friday.
Recycling is not working in the United States right now. So yeah.
What city or state was it?
I can't remember. I actually think this was from TikTok, not the New York Times. So.
Wow.
I gotta look it up. we gotta, as we say to the students, you have to look at it on TikTok and then verify the source and make sure it's real. So I'm gonna go do that after this podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was thinking more along the lines of like self-care, because I was thinking about, before we were coming on today, I was thinking about how you and I take better care of ourselves, like in terms of like, we do like all the sort of like nice routines, like you like stretch at night and like I don't wear makeup anymore. Like I was just looking at myself in the mirror and I was just like, haha, remember when I used to wear makeup? Like that was funny. And because I just don't, I'm like too ADHD, like it's too tedious of a process. I get like bored halfway through. But it's like the, not to mention the like beauty standards and things that I don't agree with as a feminist. And I feel much better.
I'm a feminist.
Yes. Well, the more I
You
have
can still do makeup and be a feminist too, just to put it
definitely. Well, and I was also thinking about how much Evelyn loves makeup. Yeah. Like she loves it. And obviously no one in this family is like, hey, here's makeup. Like you should try it. Like we're not like.
No, it's like inherent. Oh, she's exposed to a lot of it at school.
And YouTube and yeah, even like the kids shows she's been watching, which are like teenagers doing like, what, like you want to bet me to like do this challenge? And I'm just like, why do you watch this? So
well, it's things that hopefully she won't do, right?
Exactly.
Like she's not the type of person, just because she sees it, she's not going to try and do it.
Well, no, and they're just dumb things, like
except for makeup.
Can you sleep outside? You know, like I don't. It's not anything extreme. I've been watching it, like, so she watches it on the computer screen and with the volume on, so we can see.
Oh my god, she loves it.
Yeah, but it's like
computer.
She wants to know. She wants the scripts for what it's like to be a teenager. Like I can feel her processing. Like, oh, that's what girls do. Oh, that's what boys do. Okay. So, but
there is no script.
I know. Well, that's why she doesn't. We talk about how it's not real. And also I see these kids on the YouTube and they're in like Indonesia. Like they're in these like very like, I'm like, Evelyn, it takes like a lot to go set up like a YouTube production in a different country. This is not real. Like it's all set up. And she's just like, whatever, mommy. Okay.
I do like the one person she goes camping with a gigantic suitcase, but like kind of does these survival skills at the same time. Yes. So I'm like, okay, that's good. She's learning how to play with fire properly.
Is that Salish? I think. Yeah. Like she's
you
trying to keep up. Listen, I think the key to kids and electronics right now, because AI, you guys, like our robotics conversation was prescient the other week. Because like all the articles in the media today are like, by the way, AI is here and it's going to take your job. That thing that we've been worried about, it's here. So right now, monitoring the kids' media is like kind of like almost easy because we can see it and we can see what they're watching, and you have to watch it with them. As much as you don't want to watch one more YouTuber playing Fortnite, you got to look at it with your kid and be like, what's he doing right now? Like, oh my God, that's so silly, or whatever it is, you know?
Just, what is it? Learning how to talk to chatbots, right? Now, like, should they be talking to chatbots? Like, should we be letting Taylor talk to Alexa, right?
Which he has his whole life.
So.
Whoops. Like since he was 2, do you remember? Alexa, what's the weather?
Oh my God. Well, because he kept asking us constantly, what are the stats? Who's winning basketball? And we're just like, oh, here's this wonderful little robot.
There's a robot that will answer all your stats questions. Like, and she did. Like Damian Lillard's scoring percentage and whatever from, our Blazer days.
Which like he knows all the history and the numbers and the years and like who won what from books also, but mostly Alexa. But it's almost like we've been training him.
Well, and they said
for it.
There was the dude that founded Claude, the AI Claude service, which I don't use. I have to get in and see what Claude is all about. It's like ChatGPT, but different, different company. He said that, or no, it wasn't him. It was the guy that does Google DeepMind, which is yet another AI service. He said that a reporter asked him, what would you tell your kids, or how would you train your kids to be able to use AI? And I'm also like, this is a horrible question in so many regards. But he said, make sure they have access to all the AI tools and make sure they're learning them basically from an early age. Like you have to be almost like AI first, which is like, can this task be done by an AI? And you have to learn how to tell the AI to do what you want it to do.
Well, yeah. And well, they need to learn. It's like, this is where I come in. Like, what are their jobs going to be like in the future, right? They need to learn the user experience and interaction now, so that they won't have trouble when they need to do it for work, or learn how to discover a new job that's a missing hole, right? Like where they could fill that AI can't.
Yeah, and they said that for kids coming out of school now, it's going to be, what can you do that AI can't do, and focus on the emotional intelligence parts of the job. Like you have, like, it's creativity, and it's like emotional understanding that people might not, that AI is not able to do yet. And but also, if anybody thinks that that's not coming, I think they're living in a dream world.
Yeah,
like I think
it'll be interesting. I mean, I think that's why we're smart, because we always did events, right? AI can't take over events and teaching yet.
Not yet. It will enhance both of those things.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know,
It's
you
going
can
to change.
think about like robots setting up lights, you know, like it could easily be happening. And then, but then also, and with our teaching, it's already there. There's a million tools you can use if you want to integrate it into your lectures and stuff like that.
How long until you think you're going to start seeing robots on the streets?
I don't know.
Or just around?
I really think that that's the thing. When I saw an article that what we were talking about last time, where it was like, you know, what happens when humanoid robots like enter your home? Like if you buy a robot, it's going to be then living with you in your home. And I'm also like, our house is too small for a robot. Maybe a Roomba. Like that's all we have room for. But it's I think that when they described, like when you see robots walking down the street, like doing tasks, that's when it's going to feel like
walking your dog.
It's going to be weird,
crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's when I'm going to feel like we're in, like, you know, that movie Her. I always think about that movie.
Yeah.
And I think about iRobot, you know, the one where the robots turn on everyone and kill everyone.
Why do the scientists have to make robots that look like iRobot?
Because, well, and if you look at the history of AI, which, you know, I know you guys are dying to hear
Put
about.
on our glasses.
The history of AI is based on science fiction. So people wrote science fiction stories, but then they basically like programmers and like people developing AI said, oh, that looks right. And it's the only frame of reference we have. So like laser robots, that's what everybody thinks of, like laser-eyed robots.
That's crazy.
That's the frame of reference. So that's what we then create as humans, because we don't know anything else yet. So unless somebody says like a robot should look like a circle, you know, then we'll start to make robots that look like circles.
I just don't want them to take over our jobs until I retire. Then we're fine.
I mean, we got like, you know, 10 to 15 years left here. Let's go. We just like coast on out of this.
Oh God, it's gonna be so crazy, because there's also like the people. Like, I feel like we're halfway there in terms of your carbon footprint, right? Like, you're not going to buy a robot because it's wasteful. Like, go do it yourself, right? This seems silly.
Yeah, there will be resistance, sure.
Like, so it'll be interesting to see how long. Well, I think about Portland, living in Portland, like no waste. Like even restaurants, like you're celebrated for having absolutely no waste, and you're barely composting because you're using every part of the food that you're purchasing.
Yeah, I know. But I also feel like for every person in Portland that's like composting every eggshell, there's someone who's like, I would like that massive robot, please. And oh wait, it broke. Okay, throw it away. I want a new one. You know, that's the other thing that that really bothers me about like just waste is like, as soon as something breaks a little bit, we can't fix it anymore because of the technology, and that's sort of on purpose. So then we just throw it away, and then you're at the dump. Oh my God, are there going to be robots in the dump?
Oh my God. Well, that was
that would be so scary.
Was it a cartoon or was it a real movie where like the robots were like in the trash? Well, it was like all containers, right?
See, and that's when they
revolt. The older robots, because it was like way into the future. The older robots, like Generation 1, lived in the containers in the landfill, and they kind of created their own world almost.
What?
Like, because Generation 3 robot was the one actually doing stuff. But those are the ones that got so smart that started revolting. And then it was Generation 1 that saved the whole humanity.
I just hope we're living in the I hope we're living in the dystopian movie where the AI is good.
Oh,
I want to
no.
live in the J-Lo AI movie. That one that everybody
she
didn't
really
like.
had to fight hard.
She
She had to trust that robot.
she
Oh my God, why do I know
if
that?
she didn't trust the robot sooner, it would have worked out better, Janny. She just resistance is futile is the answer. But I feel like I want it where the AI is nice and like has feelings. But see, then all of a sudden you're like, it should have feelings. Like, why does it have
to have
why doesn't
feelings?
it understand? I
I
know.
don't know.
I think that
I don't want it to learn emotion. I think that's where that's the downfall. That's when like Terminator 2 comes out and like
see, then that's a
"Yeah."
bad dystopian movie. Then it's Terminator 2 and iRobot and we're fighting for our lives.
Stupid.
But that's, I mean, isn't that what's kind of in the back of everyone's mind?
Yes.
We talk about AI, we're like, okay, what do I have to do? Like part of you wants to be like a doomsday prepper where you're like, okay, let me get my stuff together. But it's already here. Like as they say this in AI research, which is like, it's an annoying phrase, but it just always is on my mind where the toothpaste is out of the tube. And once the toothpaste is out of the tube, you can't put it back in. Like but you like, just, it's already here.
And how much is a robot going to cost too though? Like
oh
right before
yes,
it's actually
millions of dollars, thousands of dollars at
cheap
least.
and more affordable enough for everyone or most people to have it, right?
Yeah.
So I still feel like it's going to be a while because even that Tesla robot video that we saw that was totally sped up.
It was.
And like, so it's still so slow, but they don't want to show that.
The humans are like zooming around in the background like super fast. Although I would say that even slowed down, what it's doing is very revolutionary. Like the fact that it can pick up a bag of trash, open up the trash, put it in there. Like
it just takes an hour. It's fine.
It would have been never possible in even like 10, 15 years ago for those amount of tasks to be done by a robot.
It's crazy.
But it's that independent thinking. And it's not real thinking. Everybody has to understand that these are robots and technology that we built as humans, that we are responsible for as humans. And it's not actual thinking. It's a computer program that matches and does pattern recognition.
Well, so I'm reading your book, your Beyond the Brush, AI and artists, right? Feminist female artists.
Yeah, you're getting it.
It's like, it's almost depressing. I'm like reading your like whole background on AI and I'm like, I don't know if I want to read this anymore.
The only thing that really depresses me about it is how much women haven't played a role in it. That's like my real, it's like only now, like today are women playing an increased role in how technology is developed.
Yeah. Well, it's just interesting with the ethics but what is art, right? Like that's the true question. What is art? Who decides it's art and it's worth like millions of dollars?
And it's kind of arbitrary is sort of like what I found in my research was that like who decides what art is has traditionally been white men. It just has. And so you go all the way back to like Immanuel Kant, who everyone says is like the seminal person that decided like what art means and what it is. But it's all from a male perspective. And he was like pretty sexist. Like I only put in like a couple
What a
quotes
surprise. Big
where
surprise.
He basically questioned whether women could think at all. Like, do women have brains was like a question at the time. And I'm like, oh my God. So then it's like, if that's where we're starting, we have some work to do, and there's been a lot of activism that's been obviously happening since the 1800s, but it's the sort of like underlying systemic problems are still there.
I'm excited to read the other parts.
The rest of my book?
The actual research part and like seeing what are female artists doing and
the women artists, because we're not doing female.
Oh, sorry, women.
Yeah,
artists.
It's okay. We don't do biological, determinism, but the women artists what's interesting that I did find was that they are just very rebellious about how they viewed AI, and that's what I kind of love because it sort of fits the rebelliousness of feminism in general, where it's just like, you say it's this, but I don't think so. I think it's this, and here's why. And some of them have a lot to say, and some of them. It's like everything from like cannabis enhanced art making to just like some of them go down into like historical, like what type of women are celebrated for their art? Are they only celebrated when they're like 80 and on their way out? And you're like, oh, by the way, she's been a great artist for decades. Like, bye.
Well, at least it's not until after they die.
Well,
like, right?
It's like kind of like the implication. This one woman was very clear. Like once you basically are about to die, they're like, wow, great job. Like it's just crazy. Yeah. And she's not wrong from what I found.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, but that has been really gratifying research because obviously you and I paint, we are artists as well. And it's kind of cool to be like, what I think about this, like, I'm just going to go confirm or deny it. And some of it, I think with my research, I've just been really surprised to find like just the threads are that women will persevere no matter what. That's the end.
It's true.
Thank you for coming to my dissertation.
All right, how much time do we have? Because we have to go to Taylor's IEP.
We have 10 minutes left.
10 more minutes.
Yes.
We get to go to an IEP meeting.
I know. So Taylor has ADHD autism, right, which we've talked about before. And so when your kid is neurodivergent, you get an individualized education plan.
Why are you telling me to tell him?
I know. I'm just looking at you so I'm not staring at the camera, silly. And so the American Disabilities Act of the 1960s, I want to say 1964.
This history.
This is a part of that where, because neurodivergence is and can be a disability, so they, the government is required to support your child, and this is like it's a really important thing that we have to make sure gets upheld right now, that kids get access to these kinds of supports because Taylor has had occupational therapy probably since first grade, and now he's in fourth. And he has
shout out to Purple Moon for noticing.
For basically diagnosing. They were like, hey, you gotta look at this. Yeah.
And get it, like, start working on it now, because he'll be set for life if you could start working on it now.
Yeah, because he was they gave us the heads up in preschool, like pre-K.
Yep.
And then COVID happened in his kindergarten. So like that was sort of a wash during that time.
Sucked. And we were like, oh, what do we do now?
Yeah. And we tried to go to OT during that time, right? But it was weird and masks and stuff. And then in first grade, we really got going with the IEPs and the school support.
Well, even that was hard, right? So they tested him.
Right.
And he failed all the tests that he didn't qualify for an IEP.
Right.
And then we had to actually, the psychologist looked at us and we're like, listen, we know he needs it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't put him through because he failed all the tests. We know that doesn't make sense. And we're like, look, I'm like, what?
Like, what do we do? Yeah.
So she was like, your last resort is to go to your physician, your doctor, and get him diagnosed for ADHD.
Yeah.
If he gets diagnosed, then he's automatically put through. And I'm like, well, we could have done this a long time ago through like 3 months of like testing.
Well, then you just realize that sometimes the school is helpful and sometimes they're not. And it's not, and sometimes like the tests don't work. Like, cause Taylor was like failing, like, cause he's so emotionally aware and he has friends and he's very like social. So he wasn't hitting the marks for autism, right? Because autism is like, it wants to be by themselves, like very individual focused. And so it's just like, God forbid a kid is multifaceted, right? They got a lot going on, right? And so Taylor he's kind of like all of them, I think, are just interesting little rainbows of different stuff, and they say that autism looks more like a starburst rather than a spectrum. So, yeah. But so, yeah, we're going to go do that in a few minutes. Yes. But I have to say that the school that we're in right now is on top of it. And boy, does that feel good.
And we even tried to go to private school only to find out that IEP is controlled by the public school. And he had to be bused to public school once a week. Twice a week.
Twice a week.
Twice a week he was being bused down the road, going on a bus himself at second grade. And we were like, oh my God, is he going to be okay? But then he did it.
Yes.
And that in itself was like kind of a awesome accomplishment to be able to just go on his own, and he knows where to go and he's doing it on his own.
Yeah, he definitely got some like independence type growth with that experience.
So then we're like, well, we're not going to pay for private school if he's like, what he needs is actually in public school.
And we should have known, like, it's administered by the state, like, duh. But, and also I think that the people that work in these fields that are specialists in OT and special ed and like literacy and all that, like, you really need somebody who that is their only job. Not like, oh, I'm doing this on the side while I do other things. You need somebody who literally, that's all they do every day. These primarily women, and that's what we have at this school. It's an all women team. Yeah. They are so patient and so understanding. Patient. And they help him at every turn. And not only that, Taylor has accomplished his goals, like a couple of them for this year. And then they set new ones that he's on track to complete by the end of the year. And I'm just sort of like, okay, I didn't know that was possible. And because, you get, as a parent of someone, anybody who's parenting a neurodivergent kid, you get almost like you're used to the process. Like you're used to like it taking a while. You're used to all the sort of like standards and milestone tests. You're used to them not meeting them, you know, because they're not really ever. What I started to realize with Taylor is that he's never going to meet these tests the way that other kids do.
Nope.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
Because Taylor's brain goes like, I will do the thing. I'm going to do the thing. And then it's like, I'm not going to do the thing anymore. Like the ADHD sets in and is like, no thanks.
Well, it always fascinates me because like there's something that is sometimes easier for some kids and then he can't do it, but then he works at it and then works at it and works at it. And just when you think like, okay, like, you know, it's okay. He's not going to get it. And that's okay. We're going to be okay with it.
Got it.
Got it. It's like some weird switch like turns on, but it just takes a little longer in his brain for like those wires to connect.
And then you're like, oh, if all it is extra time and practice, then like great, right? Like that's okay. Because what if he didn't have that? You know, I think about all the like I wasn't diagnosed as a kid, and you say that you think you have some kind of neurodivergence in there.
I don't know what it is.
You're not diagnosed. You're still just going around, no nothing. And you're just Gen Xing it, which is just like, I probably have it, but I don't care. And, but I feel like not knowing, and then the self-esteem issues that come with like, oh, I failed that test or I didn't get that right the first time. Like, it's just like, well, now it's great because the kids have like a second and a third time and a fourth time to try to do something. And some people criticize that because they're like, oh, their kids don't understand deadlines anymore. And I'm like, you know, honestly, most deadlines are made up. So who cares? You know, and I tell a lot of the students that at Syracuse where I'm like, this is the deadline. You need to understand what a deadline is because there will be consequences in your work life if you don't meet them. But let's practice. Let's practice what it means to meet a deadline. Because most of you haven't done this before.
Well, I'm almost teaching them like, okay, create the deadline.
Yeah.
But make sure you pad it because you won't make that deadline. So
such
like
a good skill.
Set yourself up for success, right? Like, you know, because usually if you're a project manager or you're in a PR, like you're in PR, when can you get that write-up done, right? You have a specific date. But then just pad it a couple days because when you send it earlier, sooner than they expect it, even better.
And everybody's so happy. And then but what you're teaching them is to like how to not screw yourself over in the office.
Well, especially just work-life balance and like making sure you have time to do all those projects.
Well, yeah, because and you remember like when you're young and you're first submitting your projects, like and you submit it right at the deadline, and then they're like, we don't like these 5 things and you need to change them, and it's still due, you know, and you didn't leave yourself any padding and you're just like, why, you know, so then you learn very quickly to pad those deadlines.
I enjoy when they give it to me the night before, like, hey, can you take a look at this before I submit it tomorrow? I'm like, I can, but like, you're still not going to get an A. I'm sorry.
I mean,
it's never perfect and you need to work on things.
Also, people should, if you want me to look at something as a professor, give me at least a couple days to look at it. Do not try to do it like as you're submitting. Like, that's not cool.
It's really, I realize like how important grades are for them at this stage of their life, though, right? Like, because even one of them, because they connect with me on LinkedIn. I see one of them like, I got a 4.0, and I'm like, wow, it's just like a thing. I never cared about my GPA. I'm just gonna get through it and just pass. I need to get out of this place and just like go work.
You're like, oh, that's what it's like to care about grades. Oh,
I mean, I cared. I didn't want to like fail. Right. But you know,
but the bare minimum is different than effort, Janny.
Honestly,
I got excited.
Effort. You did get excited because your GPA is amazing. Mine is like, it's fine.
No, but also going back to grad school as like a real grown-up, like a full 44-year-old woman.
You cared about grades though.
Too much. Well, because it brought up all those feelings of inadequacy, self-esteem issues, so much tied to grades and achievement that I've had through my whole life that I just didn't even realize, which is also like why I got my ADHD diagnosis while I was in grad school. Like, because I was just like, what I'm putting forward is not what they are reading. Like, I remember the professor who gave me a B. I'm like,
do you remember?
You know I do. You know I do. And I was like, it's cool. It's okay to get a B. It's okay. I remember sitting there. B. I remember sitting there like, just take some deep breaths. It's gonna be okay. Because they put the grades in like when you get an A, it's in green, and when you get like bad grades, they're in red. And this was in like a yellow, and I was like, I don't get yellow. I get green. Like, what is happening? And I just remember sitting there having like just like a mini panic attack, like just, and you guys were all playing, like we were in the apartment, you guys were all playing, and I just remember like trying not to cry that like I got a B. And then I realized that what I thought I wrote, like from my brain, was not what was on the page, and that what she was reading was something so different. And I was just like, there's something wrong.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like because I'm an artist and like a bunch of creatives who are all probably neurodivergent and just didn't do well on tests. Like I hated tests, but
Same.
Once I got into art school, A's and B's, like ABs.
Because the test was the art, right? Like you had to put up your art and explain it. Bullshit it.
Listen, I teach the art of bullshit, okay? That is basically all the creatives in all ad agencies. Like, defending your work, though, right? Yeah. But it's how you defend your work. You have to have a reason for everything. Otherwise, there's no feeling in heart, right? There's that emotion that AI can't do.
Otherwise, you just have an AI do it. Just program it right here.
Yeah. And I've seen some of those programs, and I see the video that it creates, and it like creates like a voiceover over like sliding images and images like moving in the background, but I'm like, it's not good. It's not good yet.
Not yet.
But it's going to.
Every day it gets better.
It's going to.
Because it's still like, it feels like beep boop awkward still, like where you can see you can see through it almost, but it's not going to be like that for long.
I mean, even TikTok's video editing, which I find better than Instagram's, like if you're creating a reel or a video, you throw in all the clips, including some photos, and put it to music. It'll edit it for you. That in itself, that is actually great, right? Because that makes it a lot easier, and then you only have to edit a couple clips maybe.
And it sets it to the beat of the music for you, which is just, that's the most phenomenal invention in social media recently. Because even I throw some photos in there, I make a reel, and it's done because I just set the song that I know I want the beat to go to. And it makes you look like you're some brilliant video editor. Meanwhile, you're just like, anyway.
Well, because do you want to spend your time, like we're not making an art piece, we're just having fun with social media.
And that's what we're using it for.
Yeah.
Some people are making elaborate videos, and they should do that.
These clips I'm actually editing because I have to clip it so that we're getting all of our laughs, because that's all we do.
You mean for social media? Yes. Yeah. Because we don't edit the rest. That's for sure.
No, definitely. The actual podcast is not edited. It's just thrown up there. I clip the beginning, watching us like press the button, and then that's it.
You don't want to see that. You don't want to see us go 1, 2, 3.
You're so special.
I know.
All right,
we gotta go.
Antsy. Gotta go.
Yep, Jani's wrapping up. All right, everyone. Bye.
Bye.